3 years ago, my back gave out during what I thought would be my annual soil-turning marathon, leaving me staring at a half-tilled garden bed wondering how I'd ever get my vegetables planted. That moment of forced stillness led me to discover the most counterintuitive gardening method I'd ever encountered: fixing terrible soil by leaving it completely undisturbed. What started as necessity born from injury became the most transformative technique I've ever used, turning my worst growing areas into the most productive plots in my garden without lifting a single shovelful of earth. The revolutionary science behind no-dig success. Traditional gardening wisdom insists that turning soil is essential for plant health, but modern soil science reveals the opposite truth. Every time we disturb soil through tilling or digging, we destroy the intricate fungal networks and beneficial bacterial colonies that create truly fertile growing conditions. These microscopic highways transport nutrients and water throughout the soil profile more efficiently than any mechanical cultivation could achieve. Mycorrhizal fungi, the beneficial organisms that form partnerships with plant roots, can extend the effective root zone of your plants by up to 1,000%. These fungal networks take months or even years to establish but can be completely destroyed in minutes through mechanical disturbance. No-dig methods protect and enhance these biological systems, creating soil structure and fertility that improves continuously year after year. The undisturbed soil profile maintains natural layering that optimizes water infiltration, nutrient cycling, and root development. Surface organic matter decomposes gradually, feeding soil organisms while protecting the soil surface from erosion and temperature fluctuations. This creates a self-sustaining ecosystem that becomes more productive over time, rather than requiring constant mechanical intervention. Building the foundation for successful no-dig soil improvement really starts with what's called the cardboard layer system. The cornerstone of this method is creating an effective weed suppression and soil building base using, well, just ordinary cardboard. This technique, often known as sheet mulching, smothers existing vegetation, and at the same time provides a slow-release carbon source that feeds all those beneficial soil organisms. The key here is to use plain cardboard. No plastic tape, no staples, and definitely no glossy printing, since those things could introduce contaminants into your soil. Lay your cardboard sheets directly over existing grass, weeds, or even just bare soil, making sure to overlap the edges by at least 6 inches so you don't leave any gaps where weeds might sneak through. Go ahead and remove any tape or staples, but try to leave the cardboard boxes as intact as possible to keep the number of seams to a minimum. Then, water the cardboard thoroughly until it's completely saturated. This helps it conform to the ground's contours and gets the decomposition process started. The cardboard actually does a lot more than just suppress weeds. As it slowly breaks down over, say, 6 to 12 months, it provides food for earthworms and other beneficial organisms, and it gradually improves the soil structure. Plus, this temporary barrier lets you build up soil layers on top without having to mix anything into your existing, maybe not so great native soil, so you end up creating an ideal growing environment right above whatever earth you started with. So, mastering the organic matter layering technique is really key here. Creating productive no-dig soil requires understanding how different organic materials interact as they decompose. The secret, honestly, lies in alternating carbon-rich and nitrogen-rich materials in specific ratios that optimize decomposition, while also preventing those anaerobic conditions that create foul odors and, all sorts of plant problems. You'll want to start with a 4-inch layer of coarse carbon materials like straw-dried leaves or wood chips, and lay that directly on top of your moistened cardboard. This base layer provides structure and air spaces that help prevent compaction while the upper layers decompose. Next, follow up with a 2-inch layer of nitrogen-rich materials such as grass clippings, kitchen scraps, or fresh manure, making sure these materials are well distributed rather than clumped together. Just keep alternating layers, maintaining roughly a 3-to-1 ratio of carbon to nitrogen materials. Each carbon layer should be a bit thicker than the nitrogen layer beneath it, and you'll end up with a total buildup of 12 to 18 inches by the time you finish. Now, this might seem excessive, but the layers will compress to about 6 inches within 3 months. all while creating an incredibly rich growing medium. Successful no-dig soil building depends heavily on timing your efforts to work with natural decomposition cycles and weather patterns. Fall represents the optimal time to begin no-dig beds, as autumn leaves provide abundant carbon materials, while cooler temperatures slow decomposition to manageable rates that won't generate excessive heat. Beginning your no-dig project in October or November allows the layers to settle and begin decomposing over winter, creating plantable soil by spring without any additional work. Winter precipitation naturally moistens the layers while freeze-thaw cycles help break down organic materials and improve overall soil structure. Spring applications work well too, but require more attention to moisture management and may need additional time to settle before planting. Summer installations face challenges with rapid decomposition and moisture loss, making them suitable only in areas with consistent irrigation and cooler climates. So, let's talk about the magic of no-dig soil improvement. It really happens through these amazing biological processes that, honestly, mechanical cultivation just can't replicate. Earthworms, for example, migrate upward through the cardboard layer, creating these natural channels that help improve drainage and aeration, all while leaving behind nutrient-rich castings throughout the soil profile. These little biological tillers are always at work, processing organic matter and building stable soil aggregates that keep the structure going season after season. Beneficial bacteria and fungi start to colonize the layers of organic matter, breaking down complex materials into nutrients that plants can actually use. At the same time, they form these symbiotic relationships that are really the hallmark of a healthy soil ecosystem. All this biological activity generates a gentle heat, which speeds up decomposition and, creates just the right conditions for even more beneficial microorganisms to multiply and thrive. The gradual release of nutrients from decomposing organic matter means your plants get steady nutrition all through the growing season. None of those boom and bust cycles you might see with synthetic fertilizers. And honestly, plants grown in no-dig systems often show better disease resistance and stress tolerance, thanks to the diverse microbial communities that surround their roots. New practitioners often worry about the initial appearance of no-dig beds, since they can look a bit messy or unfinished compared to traditionally cultivated soil. But remember, this temporary aesthetic compromise actually delivers long-term benefits that far exceed conventional gardening methods. Within one growing season, most observers will notice the superior plant health and productivity that no-dig methods provide. Sourcing adequate organic materials represents another common challenge, especially for gardeners who are creating multiple beds at the same time. It really helps to develop relationships with local tree services, farms, and even municipalities, since they often have surplus organic materials available at low cost or sometimes even for free. And don't forget, coffee shops, restaurants, and grocery stores can provide a steady supply of nitrogen-rich materials like food scraps and coffee grounds. Some gardeners experience initial pest issues as decomposing organic matter tends to attract insects and small animals. But these problems typically resolve within a few weeks as the ecosystem stabilizes and beneficial predators establish their populations. Covering fresh organic matter with a layer of finished compost or aged mulch really helps minimize pest attraction while still maintaining the system's effectiveness. So when it comes to optimizing plant selection and placement, no-dig beds really excel with certain crops but, might need some tweaks for others. Heavy feeders like tomatoes, peppers, and brassicas just thrive in the nutrient-rich environment created by all that decomposing organic matter. Plant spacing can actually be intensified in no-dig systems, thanks to improved soil fertility and water retention. The rich growing medium supports higher plant densities than you'd find in conventional beds, although it's still important to make sure there's enough air circulation to help prevent disease. Perennial plants especially benefit from no-dig methods, since their root systems can establish permanent relationships with soil fungi without being disturbed every year. Fruit trees, berry bushes, and perennial vegetables really show remarkable improvement when they're grown in undisturbed soil with continuous additions of organic matter. You know, the beauty of no-dig systems really lies in their minimal maintenance requirements once they're established. With just annual additions of organic matter to the surface, you can maintain soil fertility and also feed all the biological processes that keep your garden improving year after year. This kind of top-dressing approach honestly needs way less material than what you used for the initial bed construction, but it still gives you continuous benefits. Weed management gets easier and easier over time since the vigorous plant growth and that thick organic mulch really help suppress most weed emergence. And hey, the few weeds that do pop up can be easily pulled from the loose, biologically active soil without disturbing your other plants or messing up the soil structure. Soil fertility actually gets better every single year in well-managed no-dig systems, creating super productive growing spaces that, honestly, outperform conventionally managed beds. Plus, you'll end up doing less work and using fewer inputs as time goes on. So, are you ready to revolutionize your garden with this soil-fixing secret that honestly works while you rest? Just start small with one bed, and watch the remarkable transformation that no-dig methods can bring. Go ahead and subscribe to HydroHaven for more effortless growing techniques that deliver extraordinary results, and don't forget to share this method with fellow gardeners who deserve productive gardens without all the back-breaking work.